What's going on, y'all? What's up? What's up? Just testing things, making sure it sounds good, it looks good. I've updated my studio. You can see the lights, you can see the background. Just updating some things. I got tired of the black curtain. I wanted something different. So, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Just testing some things. If you're here live, say what's up, say hello. What's up, uh, Evar, Evor from Ireland? What's up? What's up, Abby? What's up, Ava Gaming? See how it sounds because I have no idea. Neo, what's up? Cortland, what's up? Just got a new setup, got a new background, some new lights. Hey, Victoria. Hey, email. Paul, what's up? Pentagram, what's going on? Let's see how it sounds. How does it look, y'all? Ate too much tamales. What's up? Audio is good. All right. Looking like Star Trek. Nice. That's good. Love the headphones. The headphones are just Sony headphones. They're nothing too fancy. They're like $20 at Target or Walmart. Nothing too fancy. Everybody can go and cop these. Just something to use to hear the audio. Yeah, but I know I haven't made any videos, man, in a while, except for those like two YouTube shorts. But I'm finally in a place where I have everything set up the way I want it for now. I'm looking forward to kind of upgrading my setup some more. I got my laptop is here on top of like books in like a tray. I have like a folding table as my desk, so it's really, you guys can't see it, but it's all DIY, nothing too fancy over here. Just enough to get things started. What's up, Orange Drink Music? Softer lights, yes. Yeah, Victoria, I got softer lights. I just got these lights and the backdrop this past weekend. I was fumbling around with it. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted some stories of different colors that I can do. So I can not only do yellow, what's behind me, but I can also do other colors as well. Maybe I'll show y'all some colors. What color do y'all want to see? Y'all want to see red? You want to see green? What do you want to see? From those two colors, red or green? Green? All right, Victoria. I can do a gradient. Well, that's red. That was all green. How about that? You like that color? Green? Let's see how it sounds when I play my trumpet. I just have one mic. I've had this mic for like 7 years. Orange Drink Music says half yellow, half green was cool too. Let's see. How was that? Is that too loud? I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Perfect. Cool. Well, I don't have a separate trumpet mic, so I'm just getting the room right now. Cool. It's not too loud. Excellent. It's not distorted or anything. Cool. John said techno funk, bro. Nice. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all for being here and helping me figure things out as far as sound and video. William says, "How'd you get so good? You want the long answer? Or you want the short answer?" And I'm still working. I'm still trying to get good. Bri, Cowboy Bree. Sorry if I'm messing that up. Says the long answer. Well, the short answer is I practice, right? Paul, yeah, beat me to it. Paul says practice and practice. However, it's all about practicing the right things. It's all about practicing the right things. You can practice all day long, but it's not if it's not getting you to your goal, are you really getting better? So I think the most important thing that I've practiced is you ready? Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Long tones. Long tones. You got to get that sound right. You got to get your sound right first. That's first and foremost. So anyone that's learning how to play the trumpet, or even that has been playing the trumpet for a while, and you're maybe coming back, is you got to work on your sound. You got to work on um, how to make, well, not even like tone quality. Let's like break it all the way down. Let's break it all the way down. The number one thing that you need to be working on is, can you get a sound? It doesn't matter if it's a good sound or a bad sound. And that's subjective. When you're a beginner, everything sounds bad. So it's not like you can make a good sound anyway. So for all my beginners out there, or anyone out there, really work on, can you produce a sound that's free and that feels good, you know. Um, when you play it, does it feel like you're all backed up and you got tension in your body, right? Or um, can you play something that just feels free and then it just comes out after a good deep breath, right? So that's the first thing, because I remember when I injured myself. Like I went back to square one, and injured my chops, and I didn't sound good. I sounded like garbage. Like, and there was nothing I can do about it. So was I trying to work on having a good sound? No, I was trying to work on just producing a sound that's easy. That's first. And then the good sound comes later because it's all about the approach. As long as you're relaxed and you have almost as little tension, as little unnecessary tension in your body as possible, you'll do fine. But the first thing is, can you make a sound that's free and relaxed and clear? And then comes tone quality, and then comes intonation, because intonation and tone are two different things. So that's what I worked on for a lot of my time on the instrument was spent on long tones and getting a sound. Let's see. Fluent Song says, I'm learning to play the trumpet from your videos and it helps me a lot. Thank you. No problem, Fluent Songs. Thank you so much for watching the content. I'm glad it's helping you guys out, um, even when you're just picking up the instrument. Orange Drink Music says, how often do you practice? When I was younger, I didn't really know how long I practiced. I just played. I think the most important part is I just taught a lesson at 2, and he was asking me. I think he's maybe in his. I don't want to. I mean, maybe he's in his 60s, maybe 70s, and he was asking me how long should he practice. I'm like, you should practice for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes is nothing. But if you have a very focused approach to those 2 minutes, you're gonna get a lot more done than trying to sit and play for 30 minutes and kind of wasting time. You're on your phone, you're scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. um, but yeah, 2 minutes. And the cool thing about it is you're not just going to practice for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is just to get you in the door and get you warmed up, but you're gonna want to do more. And so that's where the inspiration and the fun comes in, because if you say, hey, this is fun and I can do this for 2 minutes, why don't I do some more? Right. So 2 minutes is my minimum, and then go on from there. But to answer your question kind of more less philosophically, when I was younger, I didn't pay attention to how long I practiced. When I got to college, the requirement was 2 hours per day because it was a class. So so I practiced actually more than 2 hours, because I was music education, so I had to practice my instrument, I had to practice my symphonic band music, my jazz band music. I had to practice whatever instrument I was learning that semester, whether it was flute, tuba, bassoon, viola. I had to practice that. So I was probably practicing maybe 6, 7 hours a day. See your fluent songs. Thank you for being here. I was probably practicing maybe 6 hours, maybe more. And then I had to study for other classes. So, but yeah, Cowboy says my band director at school says 5 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes just seems too long for some people. But 2 minutes, 2 minutes flies by. I mean, you can get through like 50 TikToks in 2 minutes. Right? Or more. So 2 minutes is nothing. So that's just to get us in the door. On days when I don't really feel like practicing, I tell myself, okay, I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm going to do 2 minutes. And then what happens? I end up practicing all night, or until my wife says, hey, um, I'm here. Like I'm also here in this area. So let's hang out. Or it's time for bed. So 2 minutes. Pentagram says, really love your videos, find them really helpful. So thank you. Thank you, Pentagram. I appreciate you. So for the people coming in, my name is Aaron. Welcome to the channel. This is the Black Trumpeter channel. Here, I like to help trumpeters learn, practice, and grow to get better in, at the instrument. Yeah, man, it's been a long time since I said that intro. Man, I'm rusty. But I help trumpeters learn, practice, and grow so we can have more fun playing music. Man, I'm rusty. So thank you for being here, all 30 of y'all. I appreciate you. Valentin from Germany, what's up? I know I'm probably messing up a whole bunch of names right now, but I appreciate you for being here. Cortland says, "What do you think your next streams are going to be about?" I did a poll on some topics. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. I did a poll on the community tab on YouTube, and the public, the people. I can't access it on my iPad. Let's see if I can get on my phone. The people have spoken, and they wanted to know if my next stream could be about, I'm pulling it up, building a good warm-up routine. Building a good warm-up routine. That got the majority of the votes, 244 votes. Building a good warm-up routine got 30%. And there was a tie for second place for 27%, 27%. 27% of 244 votes, they said they wanted the next Fix My Fundamentals show to be about improving the buzz, mouthpiece, lead pipe, and the lip. And then it tied with the do's and don'ts for adult students learning trumpet. So that'll probably be the topic after building a good warm-up routine. So building a good warm-up routine is definitely going to be the next one. After that, it could be either two. It could be do's and don'ts for adult students learning trumpet, and then improving the buzz, mouthpiece, lead pipe, and the lip. And then after that, people weren't too, they didn't really care too much about improving intonation. Okay. And then people had some other requests as well. How to improve finger dexterity. People are having a hard time blowing and changing pitches. I want to see more how to play higher. That's always going to be a hot topic. Maybe we can get to these. Okay. Definitely want to work on how to efficiently create nice wavy long notes. Maybe it's talking about vibrato. So vibrato could be a topic. So yeah, my mom is here in the chat. In my name, the Y sounds as an I. Oh, Bri, like that. Oh, okay, Cowboy Bri. Thank you for helping me with that. Shalom says, as a self-taught trumpeter, what can I practice? There's a myriad of things to practice. There's 5 things that you should practice on a daily basis. 5 things. First thing is breathing. Breathing is so important because it's the lifeblood of what we do. Trumpet is a wind instrument, so we need to learn how to control our wind. So doing some breathing exercises is good. Next after that is long tones. Long tones, we need to have a good sound. So we have to practice. Playing long tones is not just about just playing one long note and just kind of zoning out. It's really about how we can form a greater relationship with that note. Because if we can develop a greater relationship with that note, and um, what we feel and how we physically play it are going to come together smoothly. So If you play long tones, you're gonna gain so much because we can't see what we're doing, right? We can't see, just like on the piano. I got a keyboard right here. I can hit that key all day long and never miss it because I can see it, right? Technically. But on trumpet, we need to have a relationship with it on a kinesthetic level. We can't see it. So okay, so long tones too. I can go all day about long tones. Right? Next is flexibility. So being able to use our tongue level to help us efficiently move around the instrument um, smoothly and consistently. So using the three positions ah, oo, and e to help us maneuver the entire instrument. So that long breathing, long tones, flexibility. Next is articulation, using the tongue. And now, do you need to double tone? Probably not. Not right now. I would say mostly really clean up your single tongue and make sure that you can produce a nice tenuto and smooth articulation. Right? Besides that little crack there, the goal is to be able to play tenuto because tenuto playing really long and connected is really difficult on the trumpet, believe it or not. Playing short and cutting off the sound is a lot easier to do. So I really want all my folks that are starting or all my comeback players, I need you guys to work on your tenuto articulation. And I need you to say do, not ta 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 or two. We're going to soften up the articulation with a do attack instead of a two attack with a very explosive start to the note. We need a very smooth articulation. So say do. Practice that with doing it on one note or do a scale, play a scale. It can be it can be five notes, it can be the whole scale, or it can be two octaves. I'm saying do, right? So we got breathing, long tones, flexibility, articulation. So that can be single tongue or double tongue. But for now, don't worry about double tongue. Worry about single tongue. Next, and I'll say five, lastly, is your range. Range, like just extending just by a half step of what you can already do. So say if you're having trouble with a lot of my beginners or comeback players have trouble getting past this note or playing that note at all, right? So what you need to do is I first play that note as much as possible. Even if you fail, because the body is going to adjust. If you really want to do something, the body's going to be like, "Oh, you want to do that? Okay, let's go do that." Right? So I need you to try to um, really solidify the notes that you can already play, and then also just go a half step above the note that you're having trouble with. So say if C is hard, right? Go up a half step to C sharp and play everything up to that. So scales, arpeggios, maybe some music that goes up to that. Right? So play things that help you get up to that note only one half step at a time. And then once you feel comfortable with that, Go on to the next half step. It's real simple, but people like to complicate it a little bit too much. So increase your range by a half step at a time. And once that feels comfortable, keep going up because there's no ceiling. You can go as high as you want, but make sure it has a good sound, right? So, 5 things, 2 minutes each, right? And that's going to get you 10 minutes of a nice, solid. Oh, here's what I was going to talk about: how to build a good routine. Is it's going to build a nice, very solid maintenance or warm up routine. Breathing, long tones, flexibility, articulation, and range. Now, there's other things that you could include in there, but it's all kind of intermixed. If you're working on articulation with scales, you're already working on finger dexterity. If you're working on the chromatic scale and you're articulating or you're slurring, you're already working on finger dexterity. So let's try not to complicate and add too many items to the pot. 5 things: breathing, long tones, flexibility, articulation, and range. After that, you're free to go practice some music and have fun. Cool? Does that make sense to everybody? Put a number one in the chat if that makes sense. Checking on my daughter right now. She's taking her nap. Is she up? No, she's still asleep. That's great. Nice. Joe says number one. That makes sense. Excellent. I also like the video. I'm not gonna this is gonna go away after I'm done with this stream, so it's not gonna stay on the channel. But like the video anyway, so more people can come and join. Nico says, "Hey, I just got into band and I need help big time. Please help me because I have a competition in 2 months." Um, yeah, hit me up for lessons if I have a few open spots. So hit me up for lessons. Let's see if I can put a link in the chat. Let's see. There we go. So if you need help, if anyone needs help, um, I do give private lessons. However, my time is a little bit limited because I'm taking care of my daughter during the day, and I also have other students. Um, if I have a few spots open, so if you see a spot that's open, go ahead and sign up, and I'll look forward to working with you. However, for some reason, my Zoom account is disabled. I just found that out. I was trying to teach a lesson on Zoom this morning, and the payment came out. However, they said uh, my account was disabled, so I don't know what's going on. I put in a a ticket, a service, a service ticket to tech support. I contacted the billing, so I'm just waiting. There's nothing I can do right now. So Zoom for now, unless maybe I should make another account and fix it that way. Joe with the $5 little shimmy icon. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So I don't know what's going on with Zoom, but yeah. Any other questions? Matt says playing every Friday and Saturday night, chops getting better, using my mouthpiece in the car on my commute with jazz classics and long tones. Very good. Nice. That sounds cool. Nico says, how can you read notes for trumpet? That's a great question. Go to my YouTube channel. I have a playlist of at least 13 or 12 notes that you can play along to, and I let you know where it is on the treble clef staff. So Check that playlist out. Play along with it. It's a there are tutorials for single notes only. So you're gonna develop that relationship with each and every single note. Not only playing it, but you'll be able to read it on the video. So take a look at that. Now, when it comes to rhythm, just know I need you to search on YouTube or Google what a quarter note is, an eighth note, a half note, a whole note, and maybe 16 notes, and then the rests equivalent. So a half rest, quarter rest, eighth note, eighth rest, all that stuff. I need you to look that up and figure out how to play it, figure out how to clap it and internalize it. Bo says, I play trumpet, but your advice helps so much. Hey, that's very good. That's very good, Bo. Oh, speaking of trombone, if there's a YouTube channel called Chop Shop, the Chop Shop. If you're a trombonist or if you know a trombonist, there's a great YouTube channel called the Chop Shop, and take a look at that YouTube channel. Um, it's if you're trying to learn trombone or jazz trombone, that's a great channel to get tuned into and subscribe to. So check that out. Gabriel says, "Great class, bro." Oh, thank you, man. It was supposed to be a test. It really wasn't supposed to be a class, but I haven't made a video in like 3 months, going on 4. But I've been making other content on Instagram. I'm trying to figure out Instagram, trying to find myself there. I haven't been using Instagram for a long time, so I've been experimenting with different types of content on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please do. For some reason, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, they're all down today. I know my account is down, so they got to get their stuff together. One of the reasons why I don't really mess with Instagram and Facebook all that much because they don't get their stuff together. Like the apps are pretty much always down. Victoria, thank you for the $10. What is this? A sticker? Is that called a sticker? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But but yeah, follow me on Instagram whenever they Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp gets their life together. Cortland says, I missed the bebop mastery classes too. I would love to see a class where we can put those types of scales to use, like how to recognize when to use them, perhaps some chord changes for the week. That's a lovely idea. And I really do, Cortland, honestly, when I tell you, I miss those live streams too. And I'm getting back into them. There's something now that you say that I I want to do that and what you're doing and what you're saying. Um, in combination with kind of um analyzing the greats, like how does Miles Davis approach a 251, and then we're going to analyze it, and then we're going to break it down, and then we're going to practice that stuff. We're going to practice the material that he uses, kind of like what we did in my create your own lick masterclass or workshop back in February, right? So I want to do that and combine those different things. AM Stone, thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. I appreciate you. Grass says jazz improvisation? Question mark. What's your question about jazz improvisation? Email says helps a lot. I'm trying to do everything in practice. Victoria says my son has lost his lips for his horn. I lost him too. It's hard to find him, but it just takes some perseverance. and kind of being long, like thinking long term, and not really worried about how you sound today, because of course we're going to sound like trash today. Um, but playing trumpet is a long game. It's not like you're not gonna you're not gonna play the stuff you really want to play right now today, and we got to be comfortable with that. So it humbles us a lot more. It humbles us like life. You got to be patient when you're playing trumpet. What's up, Nye? Says good evening. Nico says thank you so much. You're such a big help. Thank you. Watching you from Ghana. Welcome. Waybis says, hi, I started trumpet about a year ago. Do you think the Yamaha is a good intermediate trumpet? Again, well, probably not again, because this is the first time I'm saying it today, right here, right now, is I'm not much of a equipment person. So I know Yamahas are great. Like I played or the Xeno series is just killing. So getting those instruments are great. Um, there's just a response and the consistency of tone is just amazing. So if you're looking at a Yamaha, especially the Xeno series, that's a good option. You can't go wrong with that. But I have to preface and say I'm not an expert at equipment. I play the trumpet, yes, but do I have a expertise in, oh, you should get this mouthpiece for this, and this trumpet allows you is good. The materials are this, and the bell is this size. And no, I don't know that stuff. I just play the instrument. And eventually I'm going to get to that place where I'm going to learn the ins and outs of equipment. But when you're just starting, the equipment really does not matter, unless please don't go out and play a plastic instrument. Please. That's just going to stunt your growth a little bit longer. So hear me when I say equipment doesn't really matter, but but get something that you can afford. And there's a lot more things that you can afford and play that's the same price, if not less than getting a plastic trumpet. So don't think that I'm just doing this for fun, I'm just going to get a plastic trumpet and it's going to be all cool. No, because those instruments, those things aren't they're not, they can break. And nobody's going to fix it for you. However, when you get a trumpet that's in that same price range, if not lower, you can take it to a shop and they can do something with it. So you're going to be saving money in the long term. So getting $100-$200 horn is going to be more beneficial than getting $100-$200 plastic trumpet. Does that make sense? But just know, take my advice with a pinch of salt. But you know, I just play the trumpet. uh, let's see. What's up, Ahmed? Says, what's up, Mr. Washington? I plug in my laptop, it's dying. I miss your videos. Yeah, man, I miss them too. I miss making them too. It's just that I'm strategizing. And of course, I'm trying to upgrade my setup and trying to get things right and come correct. Because YouTube, people treating it like the big time, like it's cable TV. And so you got to compete with cable TV like production values, right? You guys understand me, right? So I'm trying to up my production values a little bit. Cowboy says, what state are you from? I'm from Illinois, south suburbs of Illinois, but I currently reside in Indiana to be closer My wife is a pediatrician, and so we wanted to be closer to her clinic because she's on call, and so it's really not beneficial if she's 45 minutes away, 50 minutes away, and she needs to get to the hospital quickly. So we moved out to Indiana, which is not really that far, like from where we lived prior, but it made all the difference. Nye Turkson says, please, can you help me? I still can't create and play a solo by myself. What, please, should I do? So that's a huge question. And so if you can't create a solo by yourself, there's a few things that you need to be able to do and need to do. The first thing being is you need to get your technique together. And hear me when I say like you don't have to play all the patterns, all the scales. Just really you need to be able to really dig deep into playing the major scale and for right now play your melodic minor scale for now. I want you just to think about and focus on those two scales because really the melodic minor scale is just like the major scale. However, it the only note difference is that minor third is that third note. Instead of a major third, it's a minor third. So it's really not that far off from the major scale. So you're going to be, but it's a whole different sound. So you need to be accustomed to the major scale and the melodic minor. Now there are other scales, yes, but for now, just focus on those two. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you need to transcribe. You need to listen. You need to listen to um, players. My daughter is still asleep, knocked out. You need to you need to listen to players that inspire you. So even if that's Miles Davis, Freddie Hubbard, Lee Morgan, Wynton Marsalis, Blue Mitchell, Kenny Durham, Fats Navarro, Howard McGee, Red Rodney, Tom Harrell. Listen to somebody, listen to those players and see who really strikes a chord with you. And you need to transcribe their solos by ear instead of by sight. And by ear, because when you do things by ear, it's going to stick a little bit more. So you're going to have to listen to it a lot more instead of focusing on your eyes and trying to read it. Because most times when you try to read something, it doesn't really register well in the long term. It's good for the short term, believe me. Um, but transcribing is extremely important so that you can develop their sense of playing. You can develop a sense of taste because developing a sense of taste is going to help you create your own phrases and your own melodies and things like that. I'm teaching one of many great students I have, and we're we're learning how to create our own blues melodies. And within that, we break down and we do a short little analysis of what that melody is doing, and then we'll use that as the framework to create our own melodies using just one scale. And that one scale is the minor pentatonic and the blues scale or the blues scale. And so she's doing a fantastic job with that. And so I say that to say is that we need a few skills. We need to have some technical facility on our instrument. So very much so, you need to practice your major scales and your minor scales. And first, I want you to um, worry about the melodic minor scale because most um, Black American music progressions, it comes from the melodic minor sound and melodic minor harmony. Um, so scales, You need to transcribe, listen to the greats play, and you need to copy them. And number three is after you copy them, um, you got to learn a little bit of theory to kind of help you get situated to be able to analyze what they're doing and then recreate it. Because the great thing about knowing theory is that you connect a concept to a sound. And when you do that, you're able to kind of say, oh, that's what I'm hearing. Oh, that's a major triad. Oh, he's just going up a seventh chord off the one, you know? So when you break it down, you can do those things. You can also experiment with things that you haven't played before. So you can say things like, "Oh, he did a ascending minor seventh chord off the three. What if I did the same thing, but instead of ascending a seventh chord off the three, I ascended a seventh chord off the five or off the six. I wonder what that would sound like. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. What if I descend instead of ascend? Let's see what that sounds like. So when you know a little bit of theory, you start to experiment and kind of put the building blocks together, and you create your own taste and you create your own kind of sound based on the shoulders or the framework of other players. Does that make sense a little bit? So when you hear people say you got to learn the history to understand, like, um you gotta check the legends out, is because you can use that as your way of building your own vocabulary, you know. So um study, so you need to get good at your instrument by practicing the fundamentals, major scales, minor scales. You need to transcribe and listen to other players play and how they put their phrases together. You need to know a little bit of music theory to kind of help you kind of mix and match and create your own vocabulary. And the other thing is that you got to learn songs. You got to learn the repertoire. And really the repertoire is the vehicle in which you learn the language, in which you learn how to play, and learn how to create melodies. Because yeah, you can learn a solo, but do you know how to create melodies? And how and if you learn how to create melodies, you're basically creating what's called a contrafact over the chord changes that's already there. So um, I know that was really long-winded. I'm a very long-winded teacher, but hopefully that made a little bit of sense. So if I recap, um, because I like to tie everything with a nice little bow. If you're trying to get better at solo improvisation, you have to get better at your instrument. That's first and foremost. So learn your fundamentals, learn your major scale, and learn the melodic minor scale. Uh, Next, you got to listen to jazz, or you got to listen to improvisational music if you're going to learn how to improvise. So listen to it on a daily basis. Next, you got to learn a little bit of theory so you can recreate or create your own way of playing, just to help you recognize sounds. And then next, you got to learn songs. You got to learn songs. You got to do all this by ear, by the way. There's no way around it. You're going to be a better musician for it. I know it's hard, but you got to do it. Okay. Valentine says, "Is the B&S Challenger a good trumpet for a beginner?" Um, if you got the pocket for it, if you got the money for it, probably not. Still, I'm thinking about it. Probably no, because essentially, when you're when you're a beginner, what I do know from experience is that um, it's going to be I was in college, right? So I was in college. I was playing on a Getson Eterna 700, and that's an intermediate horn. Um, so I played that from I think eighth grade, seventh or eighth grade, up into like my college career. So like sophomore year. So I've been playing on that instrument for a very long time. Until my teacher was like, you've outgrown this horn because the air that you're putting into it, the trumpet that you have is not built for the amount of air you're putting in. So you have to work even harder to create the sound that you want. However, that was not the case when I was in seventh or eighth grade. You know, so when it comes to when you're a beginner, what's great about the student horns is that they're made, you know, for beginners. They're made because you don't know how to play. You don't know how to use your air effectively yet. So that's all I can say about that. So me, from personal experience, no, I would not recommend a professional trumpet to a student, a beginner student, because you guys don't know how to use your air yet. You don't know how to even fill up a room with your sound, rather than a whole instrument, a whole beginner instrument. They're built differently. Now, how they're built differently, don't ask me that. I just know that, you know, I was putting in some air, I was putting in a lot of air and it was just not resonating, and right. So once I got after she had said that, um, we were shopping, my mom and I and my teacher, we were shopping for a new horn, and that was a Bach. And so what I settled on, what felt great, what sounded good, was a Bach 18037G. So it was a beautiful lacquer horn with a gold brass bell, and it just felt like I can really blow, and I had room to grow. So when you're a beginner, you need some room to you need a trumpet that will allow you to grow and not kind of stunt your growth. So um, start out super small. Don't get the most expensive stuff on the market. Get what you can afford and get what's appropriate for your level. That's all I can say about that. Now, if we got some professional trumpet players in here, please correct me if I'm wrong. I know y'all lurking, so I need some input. uh, so is Ari still asleep? Lord, still asleep. Kind of like she's moving a little. Nah, she's still asleep. She's not awake yet. Give it like 5 more minutes. I'll prepare her bottle, warm up her bottle, so she can have it when she wakes up. I watch most of your videos on how to create a solo, but I'm still finding it difficult to create a solo on a song. Please, what do I do? Um, that's a very long answer. That's a very long answer. Very complex question. Um, but again, I have some spots in my studio. So if you want to take a lesson from me, I got some links in the chat. Please sign up with the time that fits your schedule the best, so I can help you. Because kind of trying to explain that process on a live stream with 20 plus people, uh, it's going to take a long time. But I'm more than welcome, happy to help you privately. Praj says, "Bro, you have saved me so many times. I'm glad I've saved you, man." Victoria says, "I'm trying to encourage him." Okay. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to when you lose your chops, it does a lot to your mental. it like brings you down from a high. Even when you've been playing for a long time, and if you haven't been like pushing yourself consistently, or you know, and say that you've played something in the past and it was great, and so you say to yourself, "Oh, I can play that, no problem." And then when you go and pick up that horn and pick up that trumpet and you can't play it, man, that does a lot to your ego, a lot to it. So I definitely understand. So just one, take it 2 minutes at a time. Take it 2 minutes at a time, one day at a time. And over time, all that progression is going to compound into what you were before, even better. In my case, I mean, he says your setup be looking nice though. Thank you. I just set this up. This is new. Seems like my wife is here. Hopefully, that's my wife up there walking around. If not, I'm in trouble, or we're in trouble. And Ari is up. The whole family's here. He says when you learn theory, it's like learning the ABCs. You learn to speak with the instrument. Yeah, theory is it, you got to learn it. I mean, and again, like there's been masters that haven't been doing that don't know theory or didn't know theory, and we know them today. However, it makes the process a lot easier if you know it. Because what happens is a lot of people don't have the time or don't want to put in the time to do the listening and do the ear work, right? Because that takes a lot of ears. It takes a lot of playing and trial and error to learn things by ear and play things by ear. However, I feel like theory is like a shortcut almost. T says, yesterday, by the way, I had my first ever live performance at 31 years old. Nice. It was a blast. Thank you, Aaron. Your channel has been a big part of it. I beg to differ, my friend. You did the work. Now, I just put out the information, but that's awesome, T. That's awesome. I just put out the information. It's up to people to do something with it. So congrats to you and all your hard work to get to that point. That's amazing. There's so many comments. Lord. Uh, Oh, Corlin was backing me up. Yeah, you all right? Thank you. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not gonna cap. I'm not capping on y'all when I say I know nothing. I know very little about equipment. So the one thing I do know is how to play the trumpet. But when it comes to what's going on in the thing, I don't know. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll find out one day. NL Metal says, "Hi, I'm 12 and I play trumpet." Hey, what's up? John Roberts says, "Kahn, Odes, Holton, Getson are great student horns." Yeah, especially Kahn. Just Kahns all around, man. Odes, like those are some great horns. Every kind and every O's that I played have just felt great. They're built well. They just feel so good. Retro Minded says, "What is the difference between an intermediate and a beginner horn player?" Um, I don't know. I don't know. Anyone know? Anyone in the chat? I don't know the difference between the beginner and the intermediate. That I really don't know. Good questions though. I should find that out. I'm going to find that out actually. Crypto Church says, open up advice helped me immediately. Playing for 50 years and didn't know hard to do wind exercise without making a sound. Thanks. No problem. Guys, after this video, listen Gonzata, amazing music and amazing trumpet technique. I have to check that out. I don't know who that is. Blow by blow. Hey, what's up? It feels like I have to relearn the trumpet every day. You and me both. I'm just it just at different levels. But what helps is what helps is repetition. Repetition. Doing the same thing every day helps. It helps. It just cements all those concepts that we need in order to play the trumpet um, consistently at a uh, proficient level. Omoteo says, "Hey Aaron, just joining the live chat from here. I'm glad to be here. Always love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Sorry I'm mispronouncing your name because I know I am. Excuse me." Fluent Song says, "Please, can you send me a link to comment, please? Which trumpet is best of the best?" I'm not a pro trumpeter, but I know this question. I don't know what is the best. The answer to that is um, the best trumpet is the one that gives you the sound that you want and the sound that you're looking for. That's the best trumpet because whatever such and so player plays is not going to be the most efficient thing for you to play. Everyone is different, so it's really important that if when you are choosing a trumpet or a mouthpiece, you're trying a whole bunch of stuff, right? And you need that variety to kind of see like, oh, this doesn't play like this. I kind of want it to sound like this. I kind of want it to feel like this. Once all those things align, that's how you know that's the trumpet for you. But otherwise, it it doesn't matter what this player is playing or that player is playing or that, like, it doesn't matter. What matters is how that trumpet feels and how that how it's how it's sounding to your ear, if it's getting closer to your own sound image, if it's doing what you need it to do and it's sounding the way you need it to sound, and and it's easy, then that's for you. So take my advice with a pinch of salt, coming from a person who doesn't know equipment. But I do know that everything is different for everybody. Isaac says, "How long have you been playing trumpet?" I've been playing trumpet for, I think, 18 years, 19 years. I'm 30. Just turned 30 in September. So I'll say 18 years. I can't do the math right now. Isaac, this is a good question. How long do you think it will take a beginner to become all right? I love that question. Because it all depends on what you think all right is. Um, but my benchmarks for someone that's a beginner and that needs to be proficient. If you want to be proficient at the trumpet, to be able to play, to even just be able to play the songs that you want to play, You have to. These are my benchmarks for all my students that are beginners, no matter what age you are. You could be 12, you can be 80. I've taught all in between. The number one thing is, can you make a sound? That's number one. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do that? Those notes, low C, G, and C in the staff, I ask everyone to play that when we first start, because that tells me a lot. It tells me a lot about a player. If you can play those three notes and how they sound, that tells me a lot. That tells me what level you're at. So the first goal is to just be able to make a consistent sound on the instrument, um, on these specific notes: C, D, E, F, and G. If you can play those notes and they feel easy and they feel like you don't have to fight to play it, and you can play it, on a drop of a dime. You wake up in the morning, drop and give me low C, and you play low C. If that ever happens, drop, give me D below the staff, right? And you can play it with no problem. Then that's benchmark number two. So benchmark number one is, can you make a sound on the instrument? Because there's a lot of people in this world that can't play the trumpet, right? But if you can make a sound on the instrument, you're above a lot of people. Well, not above, not like you're better, but you're in a good spot. So can you make a sound? Number two benchmark is, can you play the first 5 notes of a C major scale easily? Next, if you can do that, next is, can you play an entire octave easily? Can you play a C major scale? Can you do that? That's the next benchmark. Because that tells me a lot. That tells me that you understand how to use your air, how to use your tongue level or tongue level or tongue. What am I trying to? Your tongue level, whatever. C affluent songs. You know how to use your air. You know how to use the tongue arch. That's what I was looking for. Your tongue arch, tongue level. It also tells me you know how to use your breath support efficiently. It tells me a lot, and because it takes quite a bit to get there. To play it to play it in a way that's not this. Now, if you sound like that and you can play a whole octave scale, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Why that doesn't count is because you're going to have a lot of issues from there on forward. If everything that you play sounds really closed, sounds really pinched, and you're struggling, so you want it to sound like this as much as possible. Nice and open, nice and broad, nice and free, and without much tension. So if the last thing, or there's 2 more things. Next thing is, can you articulate? Can you use your tongue? First, smoothly with a do attack, and then with the ta attack. So can you do this? Now, Can you play that and that smoothly at a consistent tempo? Then you're onto something. Then you're at a very proficient level if you can do those things. So articulation, and lastly is slurring and using your tongue arch to play on different finger combinations. So can you do this? Not that fast though. Um, but can you do that? Ta right? And can you do that smoothly? If you can do that, you're in good shape. Then you transition from a complete beginner to someone that's all right, right? And after that, you can expand from there. But those are hands down my top five like benchmarks for anyone that's starting trumpet. Can you make a sound? Can you play the first five notes of a C major scale? Then can you play an octave? Then can you um, articulate with a nice smooth articulation, do or two? And then can you use your tongue arch in the different levels? Because if you can do that, that's trumpet all day. You really need to learn how to do that. Does that make sense? Amit says I play cornet while I watch your videos and streams. Cornet is cool. No, it's not. Cornet is just built a little bit differently. Joe says number one. Cool. Man, I've been here on an hour. This is always fun. I love going live. Love going live. Retro Minded says, "Damn, you're so wise." Appreciate you. Alan says, "Question on original material: is it good to start on trumpet parts from 251 chord progressions from the key? I'm using the 135 flat 7 out of the 2 for solo, then 5-1 respectively. Is this good?" Maybe clarify the question a little bit. I'm not really sure what you're asking me. Bro Vic says, "Sub Black Trumpeter. I enjoyed your video of the Christian Scott Lick tutorial. He's my favorite trumpet player. When you think you're gonna do another Christian Scott Lick tutorial?" I haven't really been thinking about it. Um, but Christian Scott is dope for sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe if there's, oh, here's this thing. On Instagram, I'm analyzing licks from different players. Contact me on Instagram. Go to the Black Trumpeter on Instagram. Once all that Instagram stuff is cleared up, um, DM me on Instagram and send me a timestamp and a song of a lick that you really like of Christian Scott's, and I'll see if I can break it down. Like if there's a particular lick that you like that he plays, send it to me. Send me the video. Send me the timestamp of when and where it happens, and I'll take a look at it. Email says, "Can you leave this test up? I had to miss some of the conversation." Actually, you know what? I think I might leave it up for leave it up. I'll probably change the title because there's some good stuff in here, if I do say so myself. um, Gotcha. Alan Goodson says jazz progression. Okay, that's a bit better. So, what's your question about jazz progressions? Alan Goodson says two chord note building is 1 3 5 flat 7. The two chord. Yeah, the two chord is a minor 7 chord. Yes. 1 3 5 flat 7 solo from 5 chord, same structure from one chord. The song key is in B flat. Still don't understand what you're trying to ask me. I think you're asking me about a 2 5 1 progression uh, in the key of B flat. So if you're asking me that, if that's the question, how do you create a 2 5 1 in B flat? If that's the question, I think I can definitely help you with that. Um, so what's the two of B flat? And if you're playing your scale, and let's do R B flat. So R B flat, our concert B flat is our C. We're gonna play C. Now, how to understand what a 2 5 1 is, you have to understand that each note of a scale gets a number 1 through 7. So if you so C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, right? So when it comes to when someone says play a 2 5 1 chord progression in C, they're asking you, or it's telling you that you need to play the chord that's based off the 2, off the second scale degree, right? And then play a chord that's based off the 5th degree of the scale. You got me so far? And then the 1, you play a chord that's based off the 1, the first scale degree. So that's how you get the 2 5 1. What you were saying as far as the 1 3 5 7, that's getting into building chords, building chords on each scale degree. So if you build chords off each scale degree, you're going to play the first note, the third note, the 5th note, and the 7th note stacked on top. So what does that mean? So if we're on the first scale degree, we're gonna we're gonna build a chord with thirds stacked on top. But I'm still staying in C. I'm using the notes in C. I'm playing C, E, G, B. That's the 1 3 5 7 of that chord. Right? Now we just need to do the same thing on the 2. We start on the 2 and we play the third, we stack the chords on top by thirds, right? So we start on D. So D, F, A, C. So all of those notes are stacked a third going up apart, right? You got me? If you're lost, say something. Put a question mark. Now, same thing. You're going to play the 1 3 5 7 starting on the 5th scale degree. G, B, D, F, right? Those are notes stacked on top of each other, a third apart. right? Got me? So those are chords based on the scale degrees. The scale degrees are just the numbers for each note, 1 through 7. And then there's chords stacked on top of each of those notes. The one, yeah. I already lost some people. I'm down 13 people in the chat. Right? Alan Goodson says, is this a good way to write a solo? Now, if you're trying to create a solo, you do need to know I guess the important notes for that chord progression. However, if you want to learn how to create a solo, you need to learn a solo. If you want to learn how to create a solo, you need to learn someone's solo. And not only that, you need to learn, you need to reverse engineer. You need to reverse engineer how that solo works. Like what makes it a good solo. Because I mean, to be completely honest, like yes, theory is cool, but sometimes the notes that are in the chord just might not be what you're going for, right? So you might have if you might your taste might be more attuned to more chromatic way of playing the 251 rather than it being completely diatonic in the key. So you need to listen to a player that is kind of has a more chromatic approach to a 251 chord progression, and then figure out, okay, what are they doing, he or she? What are they doing? And then try to reverse engineer it, maybe recreate it, do something similar, and then that's how you create something of your own. Now, that type of work and that type of like analysis and recreation and practice, that's an idea that's some content that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. That's what I really want to do on this channel and making content. I want because I want to make it apparent that what those players are doing isn't isn't far from our reach. And I want to make it a way for us to kind of make it like a not like a recipe or like a formula, even though a lot of players kind of demonize that way of thinking. I think it's really going to help the public to understand, okay, here's a way that you can approach this solo. You can approach the solo like this, and you're going to get this result. I really think art is science, but there aren't enough people that are in the public that want to do the work to figure out what that science is. And I want to do that. So I'm looking forward to new content that I have brewing in my mind right now, and trying to figure out how to do it, because again, there's no one really doing this the way that I want to do it. So that's it. My mom says you went from picking up the horn to intermediate. You skip beginner. there's so I mean there's so many people. Like there's the thing with my channel is it originally was supposed to be a channel solely based on the beginner's experience. I wanted people to come to my channel as soon as they got their trumpet, come to my channel, learn how to play the trumpet, and and get better quicker with the right information. Um, but then I get a lot of people that want to pick up the instrument and they want to improvise right away. And with with the trumpet, it's kind of hard to do that if you don't have the fundamentals down first. So um, it's a battle between me when it comes to the content that I want to do versus the content I know you guys need versus the content I know you guys want. That's a whole I've been trying to figure that out for the last 6 years. And I think after this 6th year, I've finally understood how to put all that stuff together. Right? So I kind of doing a whole bunch of research, teaching a whole bunch, figuring out who you guys are, what you guys like, and all this stuff. Um, I think I finally figured out what you guys want versus the stuff that I want to produce versus the stuff that I think you need and I know you need, but don't really get a lot of views. Uh, versus the things that I think I said that versus the things that you want. So what I want versus what you want versus what I know you need versus like there's a lot of things I had to figure out. And I'm in the process of really trying to bring all that stuff together. So um there's levels to this. That's the reason why like I can go from I can go from teaching the trumpet. This is how you hold the trumpet. This is how you make a sound. To okay, now let's talk about what Miles did on "Kind of Blue," or not "Kind of Blue." Let's talk about how Miles constructed his solo on "So What." So I'm battling with a lot of those ideas. JDMUWFGIS says there is definitely a revolution, evolution in learning going on. I'm glad you're a part of it. Thank you so much. Well, I really just came on here. It turned into a whole 90-minute live stream. I really just came on here to see how I sounded and how my background looked and how the lights looked. So, but I love going live with y'all. I love interacting more so than kind of creating videos because when I'm creating videos, I'm just talking to a lens. But when I'm live, I'm talking to um, actual people and like there's feedback. So it's cool. What are my thoughts on Theo Croaker? Theo Croaker is dope, and he has a new album out. Go check it out. I think it's called. I don't. Let me not butcher it. So if you don't know who Theo Croaker is, you need to go look him up. He's a fantastic trumpet player, playing, dancing, all that type stuff. I just seen him do like a video, and he's doing some dance moves. He's looking good, man. Is different, and different is great. You don't see a whole bunch of trumpet players doing that or musicians doing that. But Theo Croaker, Black to Life, A Future Past. I love that title. That's the name of the album. Check that out. I know it's backwards, but Black to Life, A Future Past, Theo Croaker is out. All 13 songs. Amir says, thank you for streaming so long. You should try Twitch TV. I think it's called like this. What's the thing? Black to Life. That's how you spell it. All right, folks. Seems like all the questions have died down. And if there's no further questions, I'm going to get out of here. I enjoy your time. Enjoy the conversation. Enjoy the questions. Johnny Scott says, great job. Thank you so much, Johnny. Gerard says, who is your favorite trumpet player? Oh, all the questions are coming in. Victoria says, thank you again. Amid says, thank you. Have a great day. Who is my favorite trumpet player? Right now, it's Miles Davis from 1952 to 1954. That's my favorite trumpet player right now. Miles Davis in this particular era, 1952 to 1954. I'm doing a lot of listening, and I'm starting to transcribe his stuff. And last thing before I go, and the reason why I'm doing this period is because every time I perform and play my trumpet, I've kind of gotten tired of being. And this is the thing. I've gotten tired of people comparing me to Miles Davis, and not to say that's a bad thing, but in my mind, I want to play a certain way, right? So, for me, I don't want to have to always be compared to that way of playing all the time. And what people mean by that is more so like not the cool jazz era, but the modal jazz era, like kind of blue, like the more melodic, slower stuff. So I'm trying to play this bebop, man. I'm trying to get that stuff together. So the reason why I said Miles Davis from 1952 to 1954 is because that's the period. Well, that's the period after. That's like it's bebop, but it's smoother and it's cooler. And so I think that's the style I'm going for. So not like the 40s bebop, but more so like the West Coast way of playing. And so the way that he plays on The Birth of the Cool, Moving, I think that's actually a compilation album. But I love his way of playing, his way of articulating the language that he uses in that era. And so if I'm going to be compared, I would much rather be compared in that era. Now, is that a little wrong? And I don't know. Is that a little pretentious of me? You know, I don't know. But that's what I'm going for. And so I was like, well, I really don't want to try to play like someone else. Not in the sense where I feel like my ideas are the greatest ideas, but my sound concept of how I would love to play is different than what I'm actually playing right now. I don't know. I'm word vomiting right now. but I much rather play the more bebop heavy stuff in that Miles Davis era, rather than the modal jazz era. So to answer your question, I'm always long-winded. Miles Davis from 1952 to 1954 is my favorite trumpet player for right now. Now, tomorrow that might change. Or ask me that same question 6 months from now. So, what's up, Rodman? Gerard says, I agree that early Miles is the peak form. He got a little sloppy later on. Maybe he got too comfortable with success. Uh, what do you mean sloppy later on? Like which? Because he was doing drugs. He was doing I think cocaine in 51 or prior to that. Who was Miles in 54? Go if you wanna hear what I'm talking about. Go. So what I'm talking about from 1952 and 1954 is his. Um, there's a compilation, Blue Note Records. His when he recorded for Blue Note. So that's what I'm referring to. So there are compilation records from Blue Note of Miles Davis from his recordings from 1952 to 1954, and there's three volumes. It's volume one, volume two, and volume three. So look up. So right now I'm listening to. Let me pull it up. Right now I'm listening to Miles Davis Volume Two. You see that? But there's three volumes, and I think there's another compilation album that it's like the complete. It's like the complete edition where all those songs, all those tunes, all those singles from the Blue Note recordings are put together in one album. What's up, Jordan? Yeah, YouTube has those recordings. Oh, it's called Take Off. I think. Yeah. Let me find it. I think if I remember correctly, all those volumes are like in one collection, and it's called Take Off. Yeah, do what Nico says. If you haven't subbed to TBT yet, he deserves it. Thank you so much, Nico. So please subscribe, like the video. I'm actually going to leave this up. Leave this. I was going to take this test down, but there's so much stuff in here. I think I'll leave it up and I'll chop it up. Take off. Miles Davis album. Yeah, here we go. I think I found it. Yeah. So if you want to know the era that I'm talking about, Miles Davis, 1952 to 1954. Here's the album, and I think it's all the volumes together, one, two, and three. It's called Mount Take Off, the complete, the complete Blue Note albums. Take Off, the complete Blue Note albums put together. Yeah. Does it have? It has Take Off on here. So, so if you want to know what I'm listening to, check out this album. Take Off, the complete Blue Note albums. Very interesting title, but Take Off, the complete Blue Note albums. That's what I'm listening to. Yeah. Alan says we'll get together on Miles when I can. Definitely, I definitely when I was talking about that, the content idea that I have, uh, I definitely want to break down a lot of people's solos and then see how we can copy it and how we can integrate that into our playing. And so that's what I'm cooking up. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay. All right, folks. It's been a pleasure. All as always, coming here live and talking to y'all, interacting. Like the lights, got it. I can do different colors. So I'm loving this new setup. It's simple, but a few lights can do wonders. And so I'll see y'all in the next video, whenever that may be. So don't hold your breath, okay? But I'll see y'all and take care. Peace.